Take a moment to roughly put all of the points, alignment points in place. You can start at the top and work your way down, or start at the bottom and work your way up as you prefer. I'm going to start at the top for the tutorial, so opening the neck, spreading and releasing the shoulders, heavy elbows, wrists, open hands and lively fingernails. The open shoulders let me sink the chest and spine through a relaxed and released waistline, down into the tailbone where I inflate and open the hips just lightly to let the tailbone sink, and the quad, this region in the groin, receives all my weight and transfers that weight through the legs, through the released knees, which are neither too straight nor too bent. Release the knees enough to let the back hang properly. Do not tuck or untuck the tail, just let it hang. Down to the ankles, which are released. The feet are spread out with the weight distributed evenly across the foot. Not too much inside, not too much outside, neither on the toes nor on the heels. You should feel even pressure across the soles of the foot and throughout the toes. And just do a quick check that the toes are actually facing forward and lightly spread out. Once everything's in place, and you just do whichever first wriggles you need to get the rough structure, then we're going to move through each piece of the structure, focusing on it directly. We'll start with the neck. Of course, you can build this from the bottom up as well, it works well, but for the follow along, we'll go top down. So start with the neck, rotating around the jaw, gently tucking the chin and elevating the crown to open the back of the neck. And put your attention just on the back of the neck, feeling it lightly spread out, and leaving the rest of the alignment in the periphery, just as if the body just hangs off the neck. All your attention's just on the neck, this region between the back of the skull and the base of the neck that I pointed out in the preparation video. Just gently stretching it open and otherwise letting the body do its thing. Listen to the sensations coming from the area. Rest your attention on this area of the neck and just listen to everything that the neck is telling you. Let all the sensations come from the neck and let them unfold in their own way, in their own time. You may have painful sensations or tensions, or you may have release and nice sensations. We're not favoring any particular sensation, we are passively receiving whatever comes from the neck. Add to this the spreading of the shoulders, as if the shoulders inflated straight to the side. And if you take this region from the top of the head to the base of the neck, and then draw a line from the base of the neck across your back to the tips of the shoulders, you have a kind of inverted T shape. And it's as if this T shape were gently expanding both horizontally and vertically. It'll start to feel a light stretch across the neck and the back of the shoulders. Don't drive and push into this tension. Just open it just enough to feel the first hints of resistance, and then wait there and listen to the region. listening to the back of the neck spreading apart, and from the neck out to the shoulders spreading apart. Add to this the heavy elbows, let the elbows fall heavily like they were draining out of the open shoulders. Don't let the previous points collapse. You need to maintain the opening while allowing the release to happen. If at any time the release reveals a collapsed closed structure, just gently open that too. For example, I might notice that my shoulder is collapsed. Then I inflate it a little more, and from there let the elbow release out of it once more. And then carry on listening to the zone I'm up to. Now I add to this the wrist. Feel the wrist release. It opens and releases. And along with this, the centers of the palms open up and my fingernails become lively in my attention. I can feel my fingernails in more detail as I open and release the hand. Keeping all of this, keeping the neck, the shoulders open, the arms released out of the shoulders, the palms open and the fingernails lively. Bring your attention now to include the chest releasing, falling down between open shoulders. And just feel the chest draping, hanging, draining off the neck, draining off the shoulders. Don't let the release of the chest collapse the back of the neck. Keep the back of the neck open as we started with. You add the release of the chest to this. This dynamic is a lot like a parachute. And the back of the neck and the shoulders expanding are like the material of the chute catching the wind. And the elbows and chest and spine hanging out of this are like the passenger below providing a downward weight. If the chute is open and the weight is hanging down, then the strings that connect the weight and the chute will be elongated and have structure. This is the kind of thing we're looking for across the torso here. Move the attention now down to the hips with the same idea. Let the outer hips relax and open, inflating until it meets the first hint of resistance. And between the open hips, let the tail and the inner hips, the quad, release downwards, falling down under their own weight. As things release, don't let them collapse. They must stay teased open, inflated. The more you release, the more you inflate. And the more you inflate, the more you release. Feeling the hips open. And accepting the process of release is a natural process that you don't have to force. All you have to do is pay attention and listen to these regions of the body and stop holding them up. Just let them drain at their own pace. Still feeling the outside of the hips inflated, the inside of the hips falling and releasing, the tailbone falling and releasing, the quad sinking, 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 sinking through open hips. Down to the knees, just make sure the knees are as released as you can. Don't let them collapse, neither should they be tense. Open and released. Down to the ankles. Down to the feet. Releasing through the ankles, through the soles of the feet, opening into the ground. Now bring your attention to the entire structure, doing all the cues as if they're one cue. Gently let everything open, and through the opening let it all release and drain down. And the more it releases and drains down, the more you're able to open. And the more it opens, the more it releases and drains down. And at one point, you want to become completely passive, just paying attention to the entire structure. And as you listen to the structure, it may release on its own. Just let it do its thing. The only exception is if in the release you discover a collapsed structure. Gently open this structure again, spread it out so it's no longer collapsed. Remember, don't drive through any resistance, just spread it out until you meet the first resistance. And then holding it open, continue allowing it to release at its own pace. And listening to the whole structure, you may be drawn to particular points of the structure, to something releasing or something collapsing. For the releasing, we just need to listen to it as it unwinds itself. If you're drawn to a collapse somewhere in a shoulder, in a knee, in the spine, in the neck, then you just gently need to very delicately tease the collapsed structure open, and then return to listening to the whole structure. You can carry on for as long as you like this, but I'm going to close the practice now. If you'd like to close with me, you can. If you'd like to carry on, just carry on however long you like. First of all, we release the attention and the intent. We start to find a bit of normality leaving the practice. It can be nice to take a big breath in and out. The old way often is to breathe in and bring your attention way out to the periphery, opening to the world around you and above you, and then breathing out and just relaxing your attention down through your body into the belly and into the ground, and then closing the hands over the belly and just taking a few breaths. And the idea with the closing is just to tune in to the differences between how you felt before the practice and how you're feeling now. Just kind of feel the body and how it's changed and how it's continuing to change. Feel the breath, notice the mind, and when you're done, you can release the practice entirely and go on about your day.